So my name is Marta. I'm an artist, an activist, and a cultural manager. I like to consider myself as an artivist, as I associate my social political interest and activism with my artistic perspective in a multidisciplinary practice that ranges from fine arts, public installations, cultural events, films, to journalism, campaigning, advocacy, and education. And my work aims to bridge the gaps between people, create more empathy, and generate further dialogue on global social political challenges, while suggesting innovative and sustainable solutions rooted in a creative and participatory approach to problem solving. So the project I'm going to present to you today is the Jane face mask. So basically, I love working with recycled materials. And so as I saw so many masks on the floor, I had this idea of creating a giant face mask made out of a face mask. So transforming such a mundane object and giving it a different value and purpose, something that could be a symbol of unity and solidarity. And so to create an installation which was thought for a protest action that was aimed to increase the pressure on politicians and raise awareness on the importance of vaccine equity. With the G20 Health Summit coming up, it seemed like the perfect occasion to get this message across. I'm very fond of collaboration. I think it's a super important part of my practice and of any creative person. So I teamed up with this NGO called One, who fights against extreme poverty and preventable diseases. And since we had the same goal, it seemed like the perfect collaboration for this project. So we set up a campaign, as mentioned, fighting for vaccine equity and aimed at the G20 and later as well the G7 governments. So as any good campaign, we thoroughly studied our facts, and through them we made arguments that supported our plea, which essentially is that governments must share urgently their surplus of COVID vaccines with low-income countries and increase the funding ACT accelerator. So as mentioned, the campaign was aimed at the G20, which was co-hosted by the European Commission. And since I'm currently based in Brussels, we tackled the streets and had a campaign at the institution stores. So at the European Council, the Commission, and the Parliament, which was a physical campaign, but also minimized because of the COVID measures. And then we used the documentation of the stunt to have a campaign also online. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also articles were written about it. I don't think I have time for the videos, so I'll skip that one. And then our branch in the UK really enjoyed the idea, so they asked to borrow the mask for the G7. So at Cardiff Bay, and so this was more or less the result, which they sent through. It also had a big outreach. It actually was on The Guardian in the live page, which was pretty great because it's one of the most read papers in the country and abroad. So yeah, at the G20, over 100 million doses were promised, and the G7, a collective 1 billion doses were promised to the COVAX, which seems pretty good, although truly it did feel a bit short on our expectations. But I mean, all in all, I think that the campaign was quite successful, as it started from a small idea that I had, and it grew into something much bigger through the collaboration with different groups and people. And I think it gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm about, hopefully. And yeah.
Hi guys, here we are in the European Parliament with One ambassadors fighting for vaccine equity.
This idea first came about a few months ago, as I was walking down the streets and realized how many face masks were laying on the floor. I saw very big potential in taking this object, which had become so mundane, and giving it a different value and purpose. With the G20 Health Summit coming up, it seemed like a perfect occasion to create something which could lift pressure on political leaders and raise public awareness on the importance of sharing vaccines.
If the vaccine isn't everywhere, this pandemic isn't going anywhere.
Hi guys, here we are in the European.
Great.
Thanks a lot.